Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great and a fantastic day. My name is Clifton Johnson. I'm the founder and the executive director of the Empower Series, and I'm here with a new guest, our guest, Carol Wilson. I'm going to introduce her pretty soon. But as you know, the Empower Series is brought to you by Comerica Bank and the generous donations of AE Media Group, as well as your generous donations that you give to us either online or by texting give or donate to 214-225-6337. So we really appreciate your generous donations and also the long support of Comerica Charitable Foundation. So thank you very much for that. And before we get into our guest, something's been heavy on my mind. We have some new listeners, so I definitely want to make sure that you know what the Empower Series is all about. You know, we have a vision of really a world where everybody is thriving. And we define thriving as progressively realizing a worthy ideal. Now that was the definition of success by Earl Nightingale. And you can go on YouTube and kind of Google Earl Nightingale, and he's a renowned self-help guru. But the other thing that we have a vision on or a mission for is just really positively impacting the world by inspiring everyone that we come in contact with to thrive in every area of their lives. And we find that the principles for success applies everywhere. So whether it's around your health, your finances, your relationships, your business, whatever it is, if you apply those principles and habits of success and apply those in other areas of your life, you will be successful. And so what we do at every one of our events is we want to make sure that we're giving people hope, we give people inspiration along with education, and then more importantly, we connect them to resources that they did not know existed or are underutilized that can help them take that next step towards their goal or the next step towards their dream or whatever that might be. And we help students and adults. We also help the underserved population, specifically low to moderate income individuals, but everybody's welcome. On the second Saturday of every month, we're at the Houston Area Urban League at the Palm Center in the 3rd Ward. That's the second Saturday of every month from 10 to 12. And then on the third Saturday of every month, we're here in Dallas at the Highland Hills Library from 10:30 to 12. Now, the Friday before that third Saturday, we have a lunch and learn usually at the Meadows Conference Center. And if we're not there, at least for next month, we're going to be at the Network Bar. So mark your calendars for August 16th. We're going to be at the Network Bar, and we have a guest named Wendy Ida, and you can go to our website at www.empowerseries.com and find out about that. So here's my rant before we get into a conversation with our guest today. Last Friday, I had a guest on, Christine Crockett-Smith, and before we started the podcast, I was driving back from Houston to Dallas, and a friend of mine gave me a text message. She was part of a prayer group, and she got a text message from one of the ladies in the group asking if there was anybody in the prayer group that knew somebody in Dallas that can help her son who was having a hard time because he wasn't having enough money out of his check after he paid his child support to pay for a place to live and to buy food. So the quest was, do you know anybody in Dallas that can help my son with a meal and a place to stay? So my friend texted me as I was driving back from Houston, and I looked at this text message, and I was asking her all these kind of questions, like, who's this person? What are you talking about? And where's he sleeping now? And she said, look, I don't know. Let me just go ahead and give you his name and number, and you call him. So I went ahead and called him on my way back and had a conversation with him. And I told him I was coming to AE Media Group, so he met me here. He was at the downtown library. And on my way here, I got a Subway sandwich, and he was in the lobby eating a sandwich as we were doing our show. After the show, I went out there and I was just sitting down talking to him. I was trying to discern, what was the problem. He was very bitter. He had moved down here last year with a friend, and the friend kicked him out. He didn't have a steady job. And after he got paid and they took out child support, there was around $350 every 2 weeks that he was earning. And for a while there, he was living in the shelters paying $12 a day. And something had happened 3 weeks ago, and they kicked him out. And he was just sleeping in the streets. But he wasn't on drugs. He wasn't an alcoholic. I was trying to understand what his thinking was all about. He definitely didn't have a strategy for getting out of this, but he felt very confident that he was just going to get through this tough time. So I just didn't feel like I give him a Subway sandwich and say, see you. So what I did is I went ahead and we went to the Starbucks and we continued to have a conversation. And then we went to Taco Diner and bought him dinner. And I just felt like, I couldn't let him sleep in the streets again. So I went ahead and bought him a 3-day stay at a motel. So he was good until Monday. And the next day he had a job. He was going to go to work at 2. So in the morning, I picked him up and we had breakfast, and I took him to this place called Services of Hope. And Services of Hope is run by a gentleman by the name of Dr. Daniel Prescott and his wife Doris. And there was another lady there named Sadia Cook. And they really helped him out. They had a job program that was very background friendly. They got him. They couldn't do it Saturday, but they were going to do it Monday. But they gave him 3 bags of food that he can take back to his motel, and they were dedicated to really help him. And so yesterday, I got a text message that they were able to get him into the Salvation Army. So he has a place to stay, a roof over his head. They're going to continue he applied for the job, and they're going to continue to help him and get him more services. Now, I share all of that with you because that's been heavy on my mind. And as I was helping him, I also asked myself, so what is it about, and let's just call him AW. So I was thinking, what do I see in AW that is a reflection of me? Because we're all humans. And he was just in a bind. I mean, he didn't have enough money to make ends meet to afford an apartment, rent. And I was thinking, a lot of us are a paycheck away from being homeless. And we don't have to be on drugs and we don't have to be alcoholic. It's just that we haven't made the right decisions financially to save money for those rainy days. And so I was asking myself that over the whole weekend. It's just been bothering me on my mind. And in doing that, I listened to Mike Tyson was on Instagram, and there was a video where he was 16 years old, and he was telling a reporter that he didn't believe in talent. And he just basically said that at the end of the day, I don't believe in talent. I think that it takes discipline, it takes hard work, and a will to win. That's the key to a champion. He said we're all fighters. So I believe that we're all fighters in life. We wake up every day and we fight for whatever we fight for, whether we're parents, students, a business owner, or whatever it is. We wake up fighting every day. And he said we're all fighters. But he says everybody doesn't wake up in the morning and run 5 miles. Everybody doesn't go to the gym in the morning and work out. Everybody does not have the discipline to come to the gym or come to the ring, 2 hours before the fight, and then go into the ring and apply everything they've learned over the years in the gym. And so he was very adamant about the fact that, hey, we all got to be disciplined and we all fighters. But the difference between a fighter and a mediocre champion, a champion and a mediocre person, is someone who's dedicated to do the hard work and apply what you've learned in your life. And so I was looking at myself and thinking, how does that reflect to me? So that we, the Empower Series, we've been doing this for 2011. We became a nonprofit in 2015, and it takes us around $20,000 to $25,000 in cash and in-kind contributions to really operate the Empower Series. We're in Dallas and we're in Houston now, and Comerica Bank has given us a $60,000 grant, which is great. It takes care of almost the majority of our cash needs, but it's not enough, and we need more. And so I was asking myself, what am I really doing? Am I raising my game? Am I doing the things that I need to do disciplined with my time to really make sure that the Empower Series can be a sustainable, funded organization for a number of years and not just year by year? And so I was on LinkedIn reaching out to millionaires. I was reaching out to that circle beyond me, people I didn't know. And I was asking how I can be of service to them. And that's how I ran into our guest today. I actually reached out to her, and she's a fitness person. And our person coming in next month is a fitness expert. And so she saw that and she came back and we were having a dialogue on LinkedIn. And then we actually got on the phone and she asked me, what can she do for us? Can we use her, or if we need to use her place, I can use that at any time. And I thought that was very nice. So when I talked to her on the phone, she was telling me about her mission and what she wants to do with this challenge. And I'm going to let her talk more about that. But Miss Carol Wilson is the owner of Fitness 360. It's right here off Live Oak. You've been at that location for 6 years, but you've been in the business for over 15 years, right? And what's cool about your gym is that it's a gym that you have fun. When you go there, you work out. You have a lot of music-based classes, but you got Pilates, yoga, whatever you need. A lot of different mobilities. Is that how it's called? Modalities. There you go. Modalities. So that no matter what your fitness level is, you can go there and get a workout. And so she was telling me about this challenge that she wanted to do. And I said, well, hey, why don't you come on my podcast and share it with people who don't know about your gym? And so that's what got us here. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Miss Carol Wilson. She's the owner of Fitness 360. And the floor is yours to tell us about your next big thing, Carol.
Thanks, Clifton. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So my story is kind of real quickly. I actually had my own weight loss journey of about 50 pounds that I gained due to stress and some stuff in my life. We all have that. And my journey actually jump-started my career and my passion, super passion, for helping people. And then, I got this certification and that certification, and I became a trainer and a group X instructor and a Pilates instructor and a yoga, and on and on and on.
Right.
And here I am, almost actually 20 years later, and I've got all this knowledge. Well, as I look around at my family and friends, I'm disheartened because my family, black women, in my studio, lots of black and Hispanic women of color, basically, are just overall very deconditioned. That's the term I want to use. So I decided to look up the stats, and what I found was just astonishing. So as it turns out, 4 out of every 5, and I'm a little choked up because one of my favorite cousins kind of motivated me in all this, who passed away. But anyway, 4 out of every 5 black women over the age of 20 is overweight or obese. Now, this is not about looks, honestly. These black women are intelligent, they're beautiful, they're talented.
They're confident.
They're confident, and we all have some insecurities, but yeah, they're confident, they're accomplished. The problem for me, the problem that I don't think they're considering is the health problems that this creates, right? So all of these people that are overweight and obese have 60-70% chance of getting, let's list it, heart disease, diabetes,
high blood pressure,
high blood cholesterol,
you name it, right?
Right, just go down the list. But diabetes is the big one, because that wreaks so much havoc on your body. It weakens your heart. It weakens your internal organs. It just really tears down your body. And I know a lot of people think, well, I'll just take this medication and I'll be okay. No. The medication allows your body to function as best possible, but it doesn't cure what you have, and it has a lot of side effects. So it's just bad. So 4 out of 5 black women, this is approximately 80%. 80% of black women. But we're talking women of color, right? Because we had the conversation.
Right.
And when I looked up the stats for Hispanic, they're right behind us. About 77%, same thing. So we know diet and exercise, obviously, but there's some other things that play into the stresses that other groups don't have. But those things can be addressed.
Like being of color in America, right?
Like being of color in America can be more stressful than other groups in America. Like being Hispanic in America might be more stressful than other groups. Sleep patterns, there's a whole lot of things that play into it. Cultural issues, or I don't even want to say issues, cultural patterns. So black people have a propensity to socialize around food. Now think about it.
Yeah.
When we're sad, somebody dies.
We eat.
We eat. When we celebrate, wedding, baby shower, birthday, holiday.
Happy hour, right?
Summertime, barbecues, we like to socialize, and with socialization comes eating, because we're very community driven, right? But somehow that socialization, which is awesome. It's amazing that we are community driven, but somehow that food piece of it is kind of doing us in. So this is really saddening me because basically we're killing ourselves.
Yeah, and it's all habits. And I have to tell you that when I was young, I was so focused on my health. And because I was playing sports, I was working out. I had a coach that was giving me a diet routine to follow. But then when I stopped playing sports, for some reason, it just fell on my radar. And we get into these habitual ways of being. And I would call this sleepwalking. And we may focus on job, we may focus on all these other things, but then we don't focus on our health. And we don't create those habits that are sustainable. And another speaker told me that the way we treat our bodies and the way we eat is a reflection of self-love. And that kind of hit me hard.
Well, you would be right, except for we don't consciously think about it that way. Mm-hmm. But you do have a great point. Women especially, which, keep our population going because they're the baby bears and they nurture our households and our kids. And, the dads have a big part, but the women are primary. They've got to take care of themselves. They just have to.
Right.
What they do, the examples that they show are going to influence our next generation and our next generation and our next generation until we can break that cycle. Mm-hmm. I call it in the trend, right? So with all that being said, I'm a multi-certified elite master trainer. I've got experience in nutrition and working out and weight loss and changing mindset, habits, and just all this stuff. And I am really focused right now on doing a challenge. I'm going to call it let's call it a best self challenge, right? Because we're trying to do better. We're trying to create our best self, which looks like more healthy, more fit. And oh, by the way, one of the things that women of color tell me is, they're naturally thick, but guess what? You can be thick and fit. You can be curvy and fit.
Right.
Fit does not look like Twiggy. Y'all may not know who that is, but really skinny model. Yeah. Thick and fit. It's just that you have to tighten everything up. You have to lose weight within a certain parameter. You've got to change some of your eating habits, and you've got to be active. It's an absolute requirement for how your body functions, even your mind. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I'm calling it Sister Fit.
Sister Fit?
And Healthy.
Okay, Sister Fit and Healthy, right?
Sister Fit and Healthy.
All right, you heard it first here, right?
You did hear it first here, and it's just days away from being launched.
Okay.
Sister Fit and Healthy, I'm calling it a movement because it is my hope that anybody who's ever, tried to lose weight and failed, you try again, because this is a program designed by women of color for women of color, specific to their needs and their mindset and their body types and their unique issues that they're facing.
Okay, so let's back up. Tell me about, you said you had a journey of losing 50 pounds.
I did.
So I want you to go back. Okay, that was, how many years ago was that?
20.
Okay, 20 years ago. So you're living in a different space, different mindset today. I want you to take the time and go back before you started your journey. Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about the mindset of Carol Wilson then, and how you kind of evolved into your journey of losing 50 pounds.
Absolutely. So kind of like you, I was active in school. I was a cheerleader. I was a gymnast, although not very good. I was still active. Mm-hmm. And when I got to college, I had to kind of work my way through college, right? So I'm going to class, I'm studying, I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I'm working. So I wasn't getting enough rest. I was definitely eating horribly. I was being active because I didn't have time. And so college kind of started the pattern for me. Then I got out of college, I started my career corporate career, I was a corporate event manager in the telecom industry.
And they feed you all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. I had a great old corporate credit card, and I traveled a lot.
Yeah.
And that was just more bad waiting to happen. I looked up, I was about 32, and I had gained 50 pounds.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, where did it come from? One summer, I unpacked my summer clothes, and I couldn't even begin to get them on. I was like, wow. So I looked around I love my family very much, but they're large, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I looked around at my family and friends who were having all these health issues. This cousin that I was telling you about, in particular, when she passed away, I think that was my aha moment. But yeah, all the health issues. I call it, you call it sleepwalking. I call it walking through life on autopilot, right? So you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're just doing stuff. So I was looking around, and I was just like, I can't go down that path. So this is 1,000 years ago, right? So no real lots of information on internet. The nutritional information we had in magazines, as it turns out, was totally incorrect. But that's what we had.
You started with that.
I started with that. And so I started by exercising however I could. I parked my car further away. I took the stairs instead of the elevator. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of convention work. And I wore ankle weights as I was walking around the convention floor. Just anything I could do to get active and burn calories. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing this class at a church. I can't remember. Here in Dallas, actually. And I was like, oh, I like this. It's kind of like dancing. I like to dance. The music kept me moving. Even if I wasn't always moving at my highest pace, that's how I started. Mm-hmm. And I just kept going. Well, I joined a gym, Bally Total Fitness.
Okay, I used to go to Bally's, yeah.
Okay, so one day I was there, they had a sign and it said, get paid to work out. And I was like, oh, I'm here all the time. I can do that. Mm-hmm. So it was a class for instructor certification.
Okay.
So I took the class, I started teaching, and then from there I took every training I could, every certification I could. And then it just became a way of life for me.
So when did you transition from being in convention and event planning to being a full-time trainer? So
I remember I was telling you, God kind of opened windows and doors that I wasn't looking for. Right. So Bally's was growing at the time. And so I became an instructor. I was working 6 a.m., and then I would go to my corporate job, and then I would get off my corporate job at 5, and then I would go teach classes at 6 or 6:30. So one corporate merger too many for me, and I decided I needed a career change. And at the same time, Bally's was growing, and I was a senior instructor by then, so they were like, we need you to take over this new club and be the group exercise manager. Like almost in the same, well, it was the same year. So I planned my exit for 9 months.
Okay.
I saved my money. I paid off my credit cards. I bought a new car, refied my house to the paycheck. And 2 weeks prior to me giving them notice, they had merged and they laid us off because we had redundancy. And they were like, we're moving to Atlanta. Nope.
Not you.
Nope. And I already had a job waiting for me because I had Bally's was ready to hire me on this date. I'd already given it to them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how I made my transition. And I sweated the whole 9 months. I was, am I going to make enough money? Am I going to be able to pay my bills?
And were you able to when you went full-time?
I stepped out on faith. I had saved some money. Mm-hmm.
And it worked out.
And I didn't make as much in the beginning, but it worked out. Yep.
Yeah. And then when did you? And so you say 15 years in the industry. You've had this location for
Probably
6 years.
closer to 20. Yeah.
When did you actually step on your own to be an entrepreneur?
Again, there goes that window I wasn't looking for. Right. So Bally's was having financial problems. They were closing their clubs.
I remember that.
So I started in the back half of a chiropractic office because my chiropractor was close to my gym. Mm-hmm. And I was telling my chiro that my gym was closing. And he said, totally unsolicited, oh, if you have people you need to train, you could just use the back half of my office. So
wow. And it was big enough for like a dance class or a workout class?
No, this was more Pilates. It started as a Pilates studio and personal training.
Now, Pilates, you know what? Pilates is hard. I respect you because as a guy who worked out, had a lot of muscles, whatever moves you guys are doing there, it's like, wow. It's like it kills you. It makes you humble.
It's a very unique workout, for sure. And it's one of the things I attribute to keeping my body together throughout the years. So, yeah, I started in the back half of chiropractic office. He just offered it to me out of the blue. So I subleased from him for a while, probably about 3 years. And then we decided we wanted to do, some bigger crowds, some classes, like we could help some more people. So we moved to a larger space.
Okay.
So that's my story.
Do you plan on expanding? Do you have any visions for expanding your club, or are you good the way you are? Or?
So this challenge, I do want to drive people to my location, but part of it is available, or it is absolutely also available virtually, because I have an app and it'll give you your workouts, it'll track your your workouts and your food, it'll give you your meal plans, and that's awesome for me because then I can go and my team, we can go and see what you're doing when you're doing it. That's going to help you.
Give you that accountability, right?
Give you accountability, help us tweak your plan to make it better for you. So my actual vision is to possibly do another location north, but my bigger vision is to go globally.
Okay.
Virtually.
So let me ask you, have you heard of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses?
I have.
Have you been a part of that before?
I have not.
Do you know if you qualify for it?
I do not.
Okay, but that's a goal, right?
Yes.
It could be.
So I need to look into that.
Yeah, exactly. I know we had Brent Reeves, I can't get it messed up his last name, but Brent Reeves from Smokey John's on the show.
I love Smokey John's.
I know. You got to see our podcast.
And I've met Brent, actually.
Yeah, Brent's cool, isn't he?
He is.
And
cool.
His brother is cool as well. And so it's a family-owned business for 43 years. He shared some very personal things with us that shows that you might see somebody who reached this level of success, but you never know the journey, right? But with Brent, he's an alumni of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business, and he actually spoke at an Empower series, and he was telling people who may not meet the requirements of having 4 employees, having made $150,000 in the past few years, the owner of their business, and all of the other requirements. If you don't make it, then make that your goal.
Right.
Because going through that and the information that you're going to get to really help you build a sustainable growth plan is fantastic. And also by connecting with them, there's other resources that you can get that can help you at your level. So I'll definitely want to connect you with the recruiter, Natasha Harris. Do you know her?
Do not.
Okay, so I'll connect you with her because I think that's a great resource. So we're doing a little bit about what Empower Series does. Yay. I'm connecting you resources that can help you make your idea bigger.
And I'm going to take those resources and try to utilize them to the best of my ability so I can help some more people.
Well, one of the things I want to go back to is that the 3 killers, the things that slip up on us: lack of sleep, not being mindful of what we put in our bodies, and lack of movement. And those are things that are so critically important that we need to make that, like Mike Tyson says, we have to be disciplined enough to do these things because they're going to be better for us. And no matter what you want to do in life, you're going to need your body. There was a guy on Facebook who talked about he's his mother's caregiver, and he's a real estate investor, and he's been doing all these things like making money and taking care of other people, but he's been neglecting his health. And he's in bed with his blood pressure, he said, was 311.
Wow.
And so it goes back to where we do not want to have an emergency to give us the epiphany that we need to give our bodies some love. So I think it's important. Also, in July, we talked about physical fitness and how your health relates to your wealth. We had Robert Selders, who's the owner of 3Q Fitness, present here.
Okay.
And then we had in Houston, we had a physical therapist, and we had an owner of another gym, Cuts. I forget the name of his gym, but he's a personal trainer at F45. That's a new gym.
That's,
right.
It's a new franchise.
So he spoke on that, and they were making the important connection between taking care of your body physically and how that the same principles of taking care of your body physically applied to your finances would help you. But more importantly, if you're healthy, it's going to cost you less for insurance, life insurance. Long-term care is not going to be that much of an issue, and your health is just priceless. So you're in a field that's so important. And
It is. It's huge. It's vastly important. But I swear to you, Clifton, people just don't take it seriously. And I've been doing this a lot of years, and it is, man, we just got to do better.
Well, here's what I want to do. We had talked about something. So our speaker coming on the 16th and 17th of August is Wendy
I'm a
Ida.
huge fan.
And so look her up, Wendy Ida Fitness. She's out of the LA. She's 67 years old, but doesn't look a day over 30.
She is the real deal.
And she has energy, right? And she'll tell you that age is no matter. If you look at the Southern Dallas Magazine, this coming up issue, there's an article in there about her that I actually wrote. I interviewed her.
Oh, okay.
And she'll share with you her story, because just like most of us, there was a time where she didn't really give her health attention, and she really didn't give herself attention. She comes out of multiple years of a domestic violence relationship. And when she escaped that and went to Los Angeles, she started working out at the gym, and she didn't really believe it. She just felt she was going to be big bone like everybody else. And she, people in Los Angeles work out, so that's what she did after work. But she started working out with a personal trainer because a personal trainer was pestering her. She said, I just started working out with them to get them off my back. But she noticed for the first time in her life that she had some sense of control over her body. And she just took that to the next level. So she's doing now what you do, and really helping people change their mindset, reinvent themselves, and really live more productive, healthy lives, and not let the excuses of work and take care of other people get in front of them. So again, I commend you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah. And so one of the things I want you to do is that we're going to talk about the creative idea we had.
Okay.
We talked about on, August 24th?
Correct.
On August 24th, we're going to invite the Empower Series community to your studio. You have 2 classes on Saturdays at 9 o'clock and it's at 10 o'clock. The 9 o'clock, I think, are they both Pilates classes, or is one?
So one, I thought we'd do one that was lively and fun.
Okay.
Like Zumba.
Okay, a Zumba class?
A Zumba class, because it's fun. It's like dancing.
Okay.
All different kind of music, hip-hop, Latin, reggae, just funk, old school.
Like it. So,
Yeah.
So get ready. Start stretching right now. For those of you, like me, I got bad knees and everything. So.
And then, I'm glad you mentioned that. And then I thought we would do a yoga or a Pilates mat class, because that's going to give you the opportunity to do some muscle endurance training, some core training, and some flexibility training.
And do they need to bring a mat for the?
They can bring their own mat. We have a bunch of mats.
And this is not hot yoga.
This is not hot.
Okay, I do hot yoga, so we're not. We may be sweating, but it's
You
not.
might
be
be sweating, but it'll be natural sweat. Yeah.
So at 9 o'clock, we're going to do like a Zumba class, something with music. At 10 o'clock, we'll do more like a Pilates or yoga class. And I would encourage everybody to come. So tell us, what is the address? And I'll put this on our social media, but tell us the address now of your studio.
So we are at 4312 Live Oak Street, and that's kind of near the corner of Peak and Live Oak. Yeah, we're on a main street, so it's pretty easy to find.
Okay, and it has a big sign that says, Fitness 360.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have free parking.
That's good. Free parking. And the classes are free on that day,
The
right?
classes are free on
So
that
just
day.
come. You can check out the studio, and also.
However, I am going to strongly encourage everyone to come with the mindset of bringing a donation for Empower Series, because
Thank you for that. Right?
because my goal here is to kind of get people to know what we do, but also to give you some more exposure.
Thank
you guys
Thank
do
you.
great things here. It's amazing.
I know it's kind of interesting because we've been doing this since 2011, but I always, like, you didn't know about the Empower
I did
Series.
not.
So there's people out there who don't know. So I would tell you, if you know about the Empower Series, share it with somebody. Share this podcast, share our YouTube. You don't have to be in the state of Texas. You can be in there are people in different states, different countries who look at our YouTube channel. So please get the word out. I look at it to where the Empower Series is all about saving lives. And so the information that we share, whether it's about your health, whether it's about business, whether it's about changing your mindset, life insurance, estate planning, whatever it is, we believe that there's a rippling effect of everything that we do. So one of the things you'll see on our website is our core values. Our biggest core value is collaboration. We believe that we're born to collaborate. We're born to network. We're born to work together in a common bond of caring and sharing information, because Rome Madison said, one of our speakers, is that one of us is not greater than all of us. And so that's one thing. Collaboration is key. Integrity is another value of ours, where we do everything at the up level of authenticity and transparency. And then the one that I love is imagination. Imagination is a precursor to life. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. And so I believe that as a child, and I believe that now. So everything we see now was in somebody's imagination at some point in time. We believe in making impact. Everything we do is impactful, and then we give of service. And everything we do, we want to give value first. And so those are our core values. And come and experience the Empower Series. But I'm excited about this because technically this is going to be, unless we do something before, this is going to be officially the Empower Series' first fundraiser.
And I'm excited to be a host for it. And I have a bunch of ideas, so I hope this is first of many to come.
Just the beginning.
But you guys, seriously, come out on the 24th. We're gonna show you how you can work out and have fun. We're gonna show you how you can work out, get fit, be active modified around the bad knees, the bad backs, the bad hips that we get either over time with age or because of some weight gain. We know how to fix that. So,
well, one of the things the Empower Series is all about, I call it sometimes a community support group. A lot of times we don't have people around us that are supporting and are encouraging of us. I know that I was watching again on Instagram, Jay-Z was talking about his uncle who told him that he couldn't sell 1 million records. And Jay-Z was like, what? It's like, and his uncle was placing his fears upon Jay-Z. He didn't see a way of doing it. So it wasn't like he didn't like Jay-Z or love him. He just didn't see the ability to do that. And Jay-Z sold, a million records how many times? And so what he says is that, you got to be careful about who you surround yourself with. Right. And you've got to believe in yourself, believe in your greatness before someone else does. So at the Empower Series, you're going to be surrounded by people who believe in you. At your studio, you're going to be supported by people who are trainers and other people who work out, who are all about elevating themselves and becoming disciplined about treating their bodies with love. So, come to the Fitness 360, meet some great people, meet some people about the Empower Series, get engaged. You don't have to wait until the 24th. You can come to it.
Come by, try out a class free.
Yeah,
on me.
Check out where it's at and tell your friends about it. Let's make it a full house, right?
Right, because my concept for this challenge is exactly that. One person who sees the vision and takes someone with them, right? So, if one of my friends wanted to try and do this challenge, maybe she invites me, maybe I invite my neighbor, maybe they invite their coworker, and hopefully we can make it a community-supported Because we're going to obviously support
Right.
everybody with all of our knowledge and all of our love and caring. It's a safe space. There's no ego. There's no judgment. It's all about love. And hopefully each person is going to bring someone with them for extra support or to help their friend. And so I'm just hoping it's going to have a ripple effect.
Well, let's put it this way. It will, because our previous podcast speaker, Christine Crockett-Smith, did a workshop and spoke at the Empower Series about the power of one. And the way I look at it is no big movement, every big movement that I know has started with somebody having an idea. And they shared that with somebody else who became a team. They partnered. They shared it with someone else, and it grew. So every big thing that we see today started with the power of one. And so you've got that power right now. If you have the idea that you want to be a part of this, share it with someone. And even if you're out of state, share it with somebody anyway, because it's going to reach somebody that it needs to reach. There's no act that's insignificant. That's what our value of impact means, is that everything that we do has a rippling effect. And that rippling effect down the line, you don't know it, but it's going to inspire somebody to keep going. It's going to give somebody the information that's going to help them change and transform their lives. It's going to help them get healthy. It's going to help them not get a disease. They're going to be an inspiration to somebody else who's watching, because somebody's always watching you, whether you know it or not, and you're having an influence on somebody. So I'm getting excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm getting really excited about this, because I need to change. I need to start giving my body more attention. I do yoga a lot, but I know that after you reach a certain age, your muscle mass starts to deteriorate or goes down if you don't do something to build your muscle mass and keep it up. Right. And muscle mass is another big fat burner that people don't know. Right. So just increasing your muscle mass can help you burn more calories while you're
your
resting.
Metabolism, correct.
So look, I don't know a lot of things, but I know about that.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to leave you with.
Okay.
Because I don't know where we are in time, but
we got 15 minutes. So
we got time. Okay. So I do want to say this. I know that for larger people, sometimes it's intimidating to walk into a class. You don't know what they're doing. You feel a little out of place. There is no more welcoming community space than my little space.
Okay.
When you come in, everybody's like going to greet you. They're going to help you with the steps. They're going to laugh with you. You're going to laugh at yourself. And I will also tell you this. I am personally available to answer anybody's questions if they're like, oh, I'm worried because I have a bad knee, or whatever the situation is. I have a daughter who's 13 and I need her to do better or whatever. Call me.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the number.
So what is your website?
So my website is fitness360.com.
But it's spelled differently, right?
F-I-T, fit, N-Z, like zebra, fit, N-Z. So, but it's pronounced fitness. The number's 360.
Okay.
.com.
.com. And then they can Google that on Facebook.
Anywhere.
Instagram,
Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat too?
Yeah. I don't use it much, but
okay. You got somebody who knows Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have an account. Yeah. It's, you guys can put up my number, tell them to call me.
So what is your number? Go ahead and say it now.
214-702-9975.
Okay. And then what are your hours, your
So
facility
our
hours?
facility hours are from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
6 to 8. Okay.
6
is
to
it
8.
Monday, 7 days a week?
So it's Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8, and we're not like a gym, so we're not open during the middle of the day because there are no classes going on. I'm usually there doing admin stuff, but we don't have classes at the time.
Oh, wait. So you should say 6 to 8. 6 what? In the morning? Or
6 a.m.
Okay,
to
to
8 p.m.
But there's not classes all the time.
No.
So when you go there, you can still go there, and there's some way you can work out on your own, or you can't.
No.
Help me understand.
No, this is, and the reason is because we're not a gym.
Okay.
we feel it's important that every workout is supervised so that you get optimum out of it, and so that you do it safely and don't hurt yourself.
Okay.
So we're not just group exercise instructors, we're actually trainers. So we're watching you like a trainer will watch you,
Okay.
even though it's in a group.
Now, do you have one-on-one training? Do you offer that?
We do offer one-on-one training.
So that is so
That can be anytime. You just need to set up an appointment.
right. So even though you have set classes, what during your open hours is if you're working one-on-one with the personal trainer, that's when you can go into the gym. You have access between 6 to 8.
Right.
Okay. And then what happens on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
So on Friday, we're open half a day.
Okay.
We found, and I'm just keeping it real, that on Fridays people are either tired, they want to go sit down after work. It's date night.
Okay. If they're so lucky, right?
Right. Or happy hour with the friends. I don't know. Friday evenings just seem to be dicey.
It was slow.
Yeah. People were just doing other things.
Okay.
So they're catching the premiere of the new movies that are coming out on Friday night, whatever. So Friday we're open half day, and Saturday we're open half day.
And so what are your half days? Is it
12.
morning to noon?
6 a.m. to 12.
Okay. Okay. And then you're closed on Sundays.
Sundays
Is a worship day.
is family and God's day, yeah.
I got you. Okay, good. So again, Google Fitness 360. Now, here's something. Give us some tips now. What can people take away, or what can they do that's kind of easy? That's part of if they don't have the mindset or the discipline to wake up in the morning and work out. Is there anything that you've learned through your years of experience that is helping for people to just take that first step of doing?
Yeah, there's a couple of things you can do. One, really, I'm going to say simple. Simple is not always easy, but one simple thing you could do is just start paying attention to what you're putting in your body. Oh, how about we write it down so that when you look at it, you can really see what it is. That would be my first thing. I would say start journaling. Or,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So you may not want to look back and see that Snickers bars. You may not have it. I'm just saying. Something else that, in particular you want to pay attention to is your water intake, right?
Oh my gosh, it's so important.
Right? So it's so important because our body is primarily water, right? And we need water to keep all the muscles going. Even our brain function depends on water. People feel like they'll get bloated, but actually if they drink enough water, the exact opposite happens.
Yeah.
And then there are people who tell me, I don't like water. Okay, if you don't like water, my suggestion to you is drink Crystal Light.
Or could they put lemon or some kind of flavor
They
in
could put lemon in it. They could.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Most of the people who don't like water need flavor. And in addition to flavor, they need something sweet.
Gotcha.
That's what I've gotten
That's what you found.
from my experience. So Crystal Light is sweet. It tastes like Kool-Aid. Not the optimum thing to do. I mean, because it's got some artificial stuff in it that we might want to get away from at some point, but it's a start.
It's a start. It's a step. So let's talk about this. You talked about the first thing is journaling. As a financial advisor, I have not made all of the right decisions financially.
Okay.
But one thing I've always done is I can tell you where my money went. So if you look at my finances or someone wants to get to know me and I can show you where all my money has been so they can see all of my past sins.
Okay.
However, I was going to work out and I started working with a nutritionist and she said, okay, Clifton, I want you to now document what you're eating. And I was like, what? What? I tracked my money and I had an epiphany at that time. When I asked my clients to track their finances and they weren't doing it, they were looking at me side-eye. Like, are you crazy? I don't have time for that. I was thinking, why not? You cannot manage something that you're not tracking. And so when my nutritionist told me to track what I'm eating, I was like, now I see.
Same thing, right?
No wonder I'm not making progress because I'm not tracking it, and I cannot manage my diet if I'm not tracking it. But I understand now the whole difficulty if you're not doing something to start it. It's just really, really difficult. So there's these apps called Lose It, or there's all these different apps you can get to try to keep your food. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you that I still struggle with that. I have not been successful consistently. I've had moments and times, but I've not been successful consistently transferring that skill set of tracking my money to tracking my food intake.
Isn't that interesting? But you're used to tracking something.
Yeah.
And so you would think that would just
I know.
transfer over, but.
And so I look at my budget, I'm thinking, man, can I just get prepared food? So I tried Fit Foods. I tried other ways that were easy just to easily identify what's my calorie intake. Still working on that.
Okay.
But,
it's a process.
It definitely is. Definitely is a process.
So you do these little things step by step by step. You try. Here's the thing. Try and succeed at one thing. Just pick one thing and, try and master that before you go on to your next thing.
So journaling could be one thing, number one. The important thing is water. We don't know how much that's hurting our bodies by us walking around in a state of dehydration. Right. And we're not even aware that we're dehydrated. Right. I was hearing that some of the challenges that we're having is simply a result of chronic dehydration. And so drinking water is just so important. And I make a point of, I know people sometimes bring big water containers to work, or they do somehow to measure and make sure that they're drinking so many bottles, or they have to empty a big bottle or a gallon a day or
3
something.
3 times a day or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's critically important. So those are two things. What will be some of the other things that could be the one thing that they start with?
So the next thing that I would say is, so a lot of this wraps around food, right? So there's a couple of things you can do. One is pick one thing, like I said, that you know. And if I asked people what they eat that's bad, they could tell me.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't know. They know. So pick one thing, just one thing.
One of the bad things.
One bad thing. And so it may not be all sugar. Maybe it's just Oreo cookies.
Right.
And decrease or eliminate.
Or no longer fried foods. You grill them now or something like that.
Get no drinking pops or, pick one thing and work on getting rid of it.
Okay.
Just one thing.
So,
it may take you 2-3 weeks to achieve that. But once you achieve it, yay.
I know. So
you've gotten somewhere.
What do you think about sleep? Sleep is another big thing, isn't it?
So that would be the other thing, and the other thing, and I hope you don't get hate mail on this.
Okay.
The other thing on sleep is consciously set an alarm if you have to. Consciously, intentionally go to sleep 30 to an hour, 45 to an hour, whatever you can do earlier. That may mean you can't stay up late and watch one of your shows.
Yeah.
That's where the hate mail would come in.
Yeah.
But you can tape it and watch it. Like, I binge watch TV on Sunday.
Do you? Yeah, okay.
I meal prep and I binge watch TV on Sunday.
I don't know.
That's where I catch up.
I used to binge. I used to watch TV a lot.
I don't watch a lot.
But here's the thing: I moved downtown, and for the longest, I was going to get rid of cable and just have internet. But the packages for cable and internet were so much cheaper than just getting internet by itself. I used that as an excuse. But when I moved downtown and bought my place, we have our own internet, and so I didn't need to buy cable to have internet.
Okay.
So since April of 2017, I have not had. I have a TV, but I have no cable. I've never turned it on. But you can still drift on the internet.
Do you do streaming or?
I don't do streaming because here's what I realized. I don't know how I got anything done watching the amount of TV that I watched. Anytime I'm watching TV, I realize that I'm not moving forward on any of my goals, and I'm not making any money, and I don't have enough money. So it's just amazing to me. I used to have a sheet that I put on top of the TV that said, if you're watching this TV, you got to look Have you cleaned? I have my goals. Have you cleaned up your place? Are you organized? And have you? It's like I had all these things I wanted to accomplish before I sit down and watch TV. But every now and then I would just take that piece of paper and turn it over and turn on the TV.
Right.
But today I can easily say that the only time I might watch some things is I used to go to the Final Four every year. So I would watch the Final Four or watch some of the basketball sporting events. But outside of that, I am usually always grinding, doing something that now I say it's grinding, but it's passion. It's my love.
You love it, yeah. But for those people who tell me I don't have enough time to come work out, I'm like,
you can take 30 minutes, or tape a show.
If you could tape a show, you could get in here 3 times a week.
All right, so let's summarize. So little steps: drink water.
Yep, big.
Just cut out one bad food, right? One thing, and just do that bit by bit. What were some of the other things you said? I'm trying to remember.
Go to sleep earlier.
Try 30 or an hour earlier than normal.
Yep.
Right. What was it? So there was 5, wasn't there?
You've got to get active.
Get active.
Now, move. So I own a private fitness studio, so obviously I would recommend you come to a class, go to a class.
Go to a class,
And the reason I say that is because it's so much more fun and it's so much more motivating to do it with people than to try and work out on your own. But, there are people that say, I don't have the money. And that could be legit.
But
that could be legit.
But you can still watch it on YouTube or something, right?
Okay.
If you don't have money.
There's sidewalks.
Right.
You can get up in the morning, go walking. Oh, it's too hot outside. We live in Texas. They have these things called mall walks where you can go in the mall. They open early, and you can just walk around the mall. Nice and air conditioned. So you got to get active. Find something that you like to do. Maybe that's dancing. Maybe that's bowling.
Movement is lotion, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's 5 things. Let's go through them real quick. So water. Go to bed an hour early. What we missed was journaling.
Yep.
Okay, cutting out of bad food and movement.
Activity. Yeah.
So those are simple things. So you can start those now and then mark your calendar for August 24th.
Bring a donation.
Right. So, bring a friend with you. We're going to start a movement of working out. Your challenge is going to start by then. So definitely once it starts, put it on our social media. We'll push it out on ours and we'll get a movement going, right?
Right. And sister fit and healthy sisters, we got to do better. We got to support each other. We got to come together, unite, and be fit and healthy.
So sisters fit and healthy, right? And, we all got some color in us. We can't avoid that. Somewhere deep inside, right? I am so excited. So thank you so much for deciding to come out at the last minute. You're now connected with us on social media, so you can either you're going to come to our events, but if you're busy, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, right?
Absolutely, I did.
So please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, share it with somebody else, right?
I will be sharing to my whole community. Roughly 4,000 people. So
all right.
I'm really excited to share this with them, and I'm going to be inviting them to come to see Wendy Ida.
Oh my gosh,
her story is amazing.
Oh
I have her book, Take Control of Your Life.
And here's the thing, she'll be selling her book, right? So she has a book and she has a workbook with it. And the book sets are $25. So we don't charge for the lunch and learn. So we do ask for a donation for the lunch. But we don't charge, so you can come. We don't want money to be a deterrent for people coming. But yeah, definitely if you can get her book or connect with her now on social media. We're going to be at the Highland Hills Library on the 17th from 10:30 to 12. And then we'll be at the Network Bar on Friday. And I'm not sure what we're going to do. If she's available Friday, we'll be on a podcast Friday.
Yay.
But I'm trying to get her connected to some other events. The city of Garland is looking at trying to do something with their employees Friday afternoon after the lunch and learn. So hopefully I just want to give her a platform where she can reach as many people with her story as possible. There's too many people hurting out there.
There is.
So again, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and spending your hour with us. Hopefully this was an empowerment hour. You were given some sense of hope that you can do it. some inspiration to take some type of action. We've educated you on the small steps that you can take to start giving your health more attention. And I would say we've connected you with some resources. Some resources, one being, Fitness 360. So please check them out.
Guys, call.
Yeah, call, connect on social media, but definitely don't let this be the last time that you hear from Carol Wilson. And thank you again. Thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you so much for having me.